Now, transitioning into what your subconscious and conscious mind do while microdosing psilocybin mushrooms is a great topic to dive into. So, neuroscience has shown us that we don't remember original data or events so much as we remember the way that we actually remember it. And every time we recall something from the past, we actually change the memory. So, the idea of reframing is to take advantage of this fact and to deliberately go in and change the way we remember some event. So I want you to visualize some event from your past. Go into the actual feeling of that moment and then visualize yourself doing it differently. So, for example, standing up for yourself when you hadn't, maybe like standing up for yourself when you hadn't said no in the past, and now you're standing up for yourself and you're doing the opposite, right? The more intensely you can recollect the event and the more real your visualization is, the more powerfully you can actually rewire your brain. Psychedelics can dramatically increase the intensity of your past and contribute to rewiring that habit. So, in other words, it can bring the event right back into the present and give you authority over how you want to actually respond to those events. So you can't change an event from the past, but what you can do is change the meaning of that event for your present. Okay? I'm going to say that again because that's really important. You cannot change an event from the past, but you can change the meaning of that event in the now, in the present. Okay? For better and worse, one of the principal tools of our actual mind is habituation. So as we proceed through life, our brain is constantly compressing complex behaviors and relationships into simple habits that require little to no conscious thought. This is true whether those habits and unconscious associations are healthy and desirable or if they're not. So if some event in your past connected feelings of embarrassment, shame, maybe disgust, dis-ease, like really discomfort, to some particular thing or to some particular situation, you will find yourself hardwired to avoid that thing or the situation, even if you consciously want to go there. There's going to be resistance because something in your body isn't feeling safe. It's unfamiliar, or it's a space that you have developed fear or trauma around. So your body is again in the resistance space to not wanting to be near it. So when microdosing, we actually can deliberately rewire these associations completely by taking a chemical that combines neuroplasticity with pleasure and then thinking about it or engaging with things that you have negative associations with. You can permanently change your associative state. That is how powerful these can be, with intention and a roadmap and a badass protocol that supports you, a coach, a guide, someone to really be in these back and forth conversations of support and guidance. And I don't know what I was going to say, but those things. So again, what's happening here when we are microdosing psilocybin with intention is you're going to start to notice the habits that I'm speaking into, the conditioned patterns that I'm speaking into, the mental blockages that I'm speaking into. These are going to start shifting. They're going to start opening something up within you, within your body. They're going to release because you're bringing awareness to these areas that were shut down, that weren't receiving attention, right? Because this programming is so deeply conditioned from our childhood and from our everyday life, it is deeply stored in our subconscious mind. And this can be very challenging to access without deep therapy or a guide or truly getting to the root of where these beliefs started so that you can begin rewriting a new narrative around them. So what's happening in the brain when we take psilocybin are the regions of the brain that were shut off that I was just speaking into, right? Those spaces that haven't received attention or communication or love, um, they begin to turn on. They begin to activate. They begin to create community with one another because they're now communicating with each other. And because the brain regions, these receptors are now activated, there is a significant change in the way that different areas of the brain are now synchronizing and harmonizing with each other. Think of it like you're building a relationship with somebody that you've never met, or somebody that you had a relationship with that you guys took some space and some time apart and you're rebuilding it, right? That takes patience and love and communication and empathy and compassion and truth, right? Core values, authenticity, you holding the boundary, you speaking into all of those things that are going to essentially help you have more trust in this relationship to move forward. So, rewinding, when new areas of the brain start to communicate with each other, as in your conscious and your subconscious mind, for example, you might have new insights into deeply stored programming and beliefs that have been holding you back in some areas of your life. This is a huge contribution to the mushroom compounds unlocking brain states that we usually only experience when we're dreaming, right? And these changes in activity could also help unlock permanent shifts in our perspective, our behavioral effects, and even our biological changes. These regions of your brain begin to get louder and louder and louder and more active and active and active, enhancing your mind and your body to get in touch with your emotional system. And when you're in touch with your emotions, you begin to feel and you begin to connect on levels that you weren't doing before. And this is where the healing and the growth is. And one more thing. This is why all walks of life, you're seeing leaders, CEOs, athletes, coaches, healers, again, anybody, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it doesn't matter, race, authenticity, gender, weight, it doesn't matter. All walks of life are exploring and working with microdosing to better quality, to enhance the quality of their life for the better, right? And you're seeing this happen anywhere from them wanting to accelerate learning, to healing trauma, to reprogramming underlying associations that lead to habitual behavior or thought patterns. You're seeing these people want to get in touch with their shadow work, paradigm engineering, and of course, the continued exploration of nature and connecting more with the earth, right? You're seeing this all over the place right now. Psychedelics are powerful, powerful, powerful tools of transformation. And when used appropriately, these can really be powerful tools for good. They can be lasting for good, so long as you have intention, so long as you integrate these habits that you learn and develop on your actual protocol journey. So unfortunately, for 5 decades, society has chosen to try to avoid, ignore, and really repress these tools rather than learn how to use them responsibly. So things are starting to turn around now, but we are still waiting for society to catch up and for more rigorous and legal research to really be allowed for this to happen.